Okay, so like imagine opening up the book of Ecclesiastes
Uh-huh.
and someone like tells you, "Find wisdom for the 21st century, go." You'd
Yes.
be like flipping through the pages, right, wondering, where do I even start?
Totally.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing on this deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going to explore chapters 7 through 9,
All right.
and it's all about like timeless stuff, wisdom, mortality, living with purpose, and get this, these ancient words,
Yeah.
they're surprisingly relevant to our modern
Oh,
lives.
absolutely.
You ready to uncover some of those hidden gems?
I'm ready.
You're right.
Yeah, these chapters are like a guide to
Mhm.
navigating those the ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
And it's written by someone who's seen it all,
Okay.
the good, the bad,
Yeah.
and isn't afraid to ask the tough questions.
Right.
There's no easy answers here,
Gotcha.
just like honest reflections on the human experience.
That's cool. And it starts off strong, right? From the first verse
Oh, yeah.
of chapter 7. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Okay, now in a
Yeah.
world that's like obsessed with social media fame
Right.
and getting all those likes,
Totally.
that's kind of a head scratcher, isn't it?
It is. It really makes you think.
Yeah.
It challenges our modern idea of success.
Uh-huh.
Instead of chasing fleeting fame, Ecclesiastes is urging us to consider what truly lasts,
Okay.
the impact we have on others, the legacy we leave behind.
Okay.
It's saying that that the end of something,
Yeah.
like how we're remembered,
Right.
holds more weight than the excitement of like new beginnings.
So in a way, it's kind of saying it's not about the launch of your latest project, right? It's about the good work you do over time. It's
Yeah.
like the quiet, consistent actions.
Yeah.
Building a reputation based on character.
Right.
Not just like flashy achievements.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Oh, thanks.
Think about it this way. What will people remember you for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your follower count, or the way you treated others,
Right.
your online persona,
Yeah.
or the genuine connections you made.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes is urging us to focus on the things that truly matter.
Okay.
Kindness, integrity, the positive difference we make in the world.
It's a good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
Especially in the age of instant everything, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Then we get to another verse that really makes you pause.
Okay.
Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Now,
Oh.
I don't know about you,
Uh-huh.
but that sounds a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Does this mean we should all be like walking around
Right.
gloomy and depressed all the time?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
It's not saying that we should actively seek out sadness.
Yeah.
It's more about
Yeah.
recognizing the value in those difficult experiences we all face.
Okay.
Think about a time
Yeah.
you went through something tough,
Okay.
a real challenge, hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Did it change you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn something about yourself,
Okay.
about resilience, maybe even compassion?
You know what? You're right. When
Yeah.
I think back to some of the hardest times in my life,
Yeah.
I can actually see how those experiences
Right.
shaped me,
Yes.
even if it wasn't fun going through them at the time.
Exactly. Hardship has a way of refining us,
Okay.
of showing us what we're truly made of.
Yeah.
It can teach us empathy for others who are struggling
Right.
and draw us closer to the things that truly matter in life.
So maybe instead of always chasing that constant high, right? We should embrace the full spectrum of human emotions.
Yes.
Even the tough ones,
Yeah.
because there's wisdom to be found even in sorrow.
That's a profound insight.
Yeah.
And it challenges our culture's obsession
Okay.
with happiness as the ultimate goal.
Right.
Ecclesiastes is suggesting there's a deeper,
Okay.
more meaningful kind of fulfillment that comes from facing
Yeah.
and growing through life's inevitable challenges.
Okay, so we've talked about building a good name, finding wisdom in sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then chapter 8 gets pretty real, right?
Oh, yeah.
With this line. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death. Whoa. Talk about a reality check, right? Why bring death into this conversation?
Mhm.
Isn't that a bit, like, heavy?
It might seem that way at first,
Okay.
but it's actually a very freeing concept.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes is reminding us
Yeah.
that despite our,
Hmm.
advances in technology, our pursuit of wealth and power, we are not ultimately in control.
Okay.
None of us can escape the reality of death. And recognizing that can be incredibly liberating.
It's like saying, hey, you're not going to live forever.
Right.
So what are you going to do with the time you have?
Exactly.
So it's not meant to be morbid or depressing. It's actually an invitation to focus on what we can control.
Right.
Which is how we live each day.
Absolutely.
But then how does that tie into living with purpose?
Yeah.
Which seems to be a big theme in chapter 9.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. Chapter 9 really dives deep into this idea of purpose.
Okay.
Urging us to find meaning in our actions despite all of life's uncertainties.
Right.
You might recognize this verse, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's almost like something you'd see on a motivational poster.
Totally. But there's got to be more to it than just working hard, right?
Right.
What's the deeper message here for us today?
Well, it reminds us that life is unpredictable. We don't know what tomorrow holds.
Right.
So we should embrace each opportunity with energy and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's not just about toiling away.
Right.
It's about infusing our work, our relationships, our creative pursuits, everything we do with intention and meaning.
So it's about being present in each moment.
Yes.
Finding that spark of joy.
Yes.
Even in the everyday tasks.
Exactly. It's about bringing our full selves to whatever we're doing. And it connects to another key idea from chapter 9.
Okay.
Time and chance happiness to them all.
Okay.
This isn't meant to discourage us.
Right.
Instead, it encourages us to make the most of the present moment.
Okay.
We can't control everything that happens to us.
Yeah.
But we can control how we respond and how we choose to live.
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life and just feel like overwhelmed.
Right.
By everything that's happening around us. This is a great reminder to take a step back,
yes,
appreciate the present moment, focus on what we can control,
right,
and pour our energy into that.
Right, and that's where wisdom comes in.
Okay.
Remember back in chapter 7 we talked about a good name being better than precious ointment? Well, chapter 9 closes with a related idea.
All right.
Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway for us here? How can we apply this in our everyday lives?
Think of it this way: even seemingly small choices can have a ripple effect, impacting not only ourselves but also those around us.
Right.
This verse reminds us to seek wisdom in our decisions.
Okay.
To consider the long-term consequences of our actions.
Yeah.
And to use our influence to make a positive impact on the world.
So it's not just about making wise choices for ourselves.
Right.
It's about using our wisdom to benefit others and contribute to a greater good.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message about the interconnectedness of our actions.
It is, and it reminds us that even small acts of kindness and compassion can have a significant impact.
Yeah.
Now we've covered a lot of ground here.
Sure.
We've talked about building a good name, finding wisdom in sorrow, accepting the inevitability of death.
Yeah.
And living with purpose in a world full of uncertainty.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is.
But what strikes me is this underlying theme throughout these chapters.
Right.
The limits of human power. It's humbling to be reminded.
It is.
That we're not in control of everything.
It is humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a really important message for us in the 21st century.
Okay.
Where there's so much emphasis on individual achievement and control. Ecclesiastes reminds us that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves.
That reminds me of the part where it says, a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun.
Yes.
It's like acknowledging that we can't always understand the why or the how of everything.
Precisely. We don't have all the answers.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It invites us to cultivate a sense of humility and acceptance.
Okay.
To trust that there's a greater purpose at work.
Right.
Even when we can't grasp it.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Yes.
Between accepting what we can't control.
Yes.
And making the most of the choices we do have, living with purpose and intention each day.
Exactly. It's a lifelong journey of discovery and growth,
Yeah.
And these chapters of Ecclesiastes offer us valuable guidance along the way.
We've explored so many profound ideas today.
We have.
We've talked about the value of a good name, the importance of finding wisdom in both joy and sorrow, the limits of human power,
right,
and the call to live with purpose in a world that often feels unpredictable.
And these are just a few of the gems hidden within these chapters.
Yeah.
There's so much more to uncover and ponder. I encourage you to keep digging deeper.
Right.
And see what resonates with you.
Before we wrap up,
okay,
I want to circle back to that powerful line from chapter 9.
Yeah.
Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. It's a call to action,
right?
But it's also a reminder to find joy and purpose in those everyday moments.
Yes.
How do you think that applies to our lives today?
That's a great question. I think it encourages us to be fully present in whatever we're doing, whether it's our work or relationships or even just simple everyday tasks.
Okay.
How can we bring more energy and enthusiasm to those moments? How can we find that spark of joy and purpose even in the mundane?
It really makes you think about how you're spending your time, right? The things you prioritize.
Yeah.
Are you just going through the motions,
right,
or are you truly engaged in living with purpose?
Exactly. It's about being intentional with our time and energy. And it ties back to that idea of legacy we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
What do we want to be remembered for?
Right.
What kind of impact do we want to have on the world?
So it's not just about what we achieve.
Yeah.
But about who we are as people, the values we live by, the way we treat others.
Yeah.
It's about leaving the world a little better than we found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's something we all have the power to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of our circumstances.
Right.
It doesn't require grand gestures or extraordinary feats.
Yeah. It can be as simple as offering a kind word, or lending a helping hand.
Yes.
Or just being fully present with someone who needs it. Those seemingly small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect that we might not even realize.
It's a beautiful point.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to that final thought of Ecclesiastes 9. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
Right.
It's a sobering reminder that even our smallest choices can have a profound impact, for better or for worse.
So it's not just a call to action; it's also a call to reflection.
Yeah.
To think about the consequences of our choices, big and small.
Yeah.
And to strive to use our wisdom for good.
I think that's a perfect way to sum it up as you go about your day. Remember the wisdom of Ecclesiastes.
Right.
To live with purpose, to seek wisdom in all things, to savor each moment, and to use your actions to create a more just and compassionate world.
Well, we've certainly journeyed through some profound ideas.
We have.
In this deep dive.
Yes.
From the importance of building a good name to finding wisdom in sorrow. Yeah. Accepting the limits of our control.
Right.
And embracing the call to live with purpose. These chapters of Ecclesiastes, they offer timeless insights for navigating the complexities of life.
There's so much depth and richness in these ancient words. Yeah. I hope this deep dive has inspired you to revisit these chapters. And uncover even more wisdom that resonates with you.
And if you're ever feeling lost or uncertain, remember those powerful words from Ecclesiastes 9. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Put your whole heart into everything you do and find that spark of joy and purpose in each moment.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep living